Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I know you see us. I know you hear us. You know who we are. This is the Next Up Fantasy Show. This is the Monday morning show, and not the Monday morning show. I'm that tired. It's the it's the Sunday morning show, championship week. It's your boy Will with my man right here, Mike T.
What
First of
up?
all, just how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Doing good, brother. Glad to be here with you. Like I said, it's a little early, but super excited. It's championship week, so it's either put up or shut up, man. It's everyone's time to make that statement. If you're in a money league, get that money. If you're in a league for respect, just get that respect, that pride, whatever you need to get. And yeah, man, I'm super excited.
Respect and money. That's all people want in life. So can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that opinion. But let's go ahead and just simply jump into it. For those who are joining us on Instagram Live for the very first time, we do this every week on the Sunday mornings right before the game starts, and pretty much the only thing that we really do is just say who's in, who's out. We make our predictions as far as who's going to win the games, and then at the end we do what's called a next up parlay, where I give three or four picks that I chose as far as what I feel could help you out on the betting side as well. And if it helps, like if I say something to the point where I say do this, do that, I'm betting that too. So if I'm wrong, then I'm losing money too. So that's kind of a shame. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. There's probably a couple more that's going to be jumping in for this, but it looks like that for right now. Who's out right now? I shows Raheem Mostert, Jacoby Brissett, who I thought was actually going to be starting today against the 49ers, but it is going to be going back to our to sack friendly Sam Howell starting today. Marvin Mims, who I was excited for in the beginning of the season, but just fell off just like the rest of the Broncos did this year. He's out this week. Zach Moss, we already knew he was going to be out. Josh Jacobs, who we thought was going to be coming back in today, is going to be out. And Zamir White owners, if you still have him, plug him in for your championship. Who's in? Who people had thoughts and questions about? Isaiah Pacheco is in. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in. Kenneth Walker is in, but there is a little bit concern about his shoulder. So be very cautious if you're starting Kenneth Walker this week. DK Metcalf is going to be playing, thank God, because I'm going to need him this week. Zay Flowers, I'm going to need him too. Alvin Kamara, I'm going to need him too. Puka Nacua, don't need him, but Puka Nacua is going to be in playing today. Jordan Addison is going to be in. Michael Pittman, Kyler Murray, who I picked on yesterday's show as probably one of the better quarterbacks for this week, and Jerry Judy's going to be in, trying to help out not Russell Wilson this week. Anyone out of those people that you are looking forward to as far
Yeah,
as being in or being out?
yeah. There's a couple actually. Like I said, I play in multiple leagues, as I'm sure many of us do. And in about three out of the six leagues I play in, I was a Raheem Mostert owner. So him missing today's game is pretty big news. If you're a championship, that's probably somebody that you've relied on all year. You might be scrambling for a replacement. I know that Will had mentioned Zamir White. That'd be an excellent replacement for him if you're able to get him. He's probably not in any waiver wires right now. I was actually able to get him in the league that I'm in the championship game in today.
Like,
Someone had dropped him last week. I think they probably were expecting Josh Jacobs to come back, and he was just chilling on the waiver wire like on Wednesday. So I picked him up. Didn't know if it would clear waivers, didn't know if I would get him, but I was lucky enough to get him. So if you're in a situation like that, he would be a great replacement for Mostert. And I'm also excited to see the return of
you froze there, unless anyone else can see him.
Marty, though.
Okay, you're
Hello?
good.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm excited to see Michael Pittman return. Michael
Okay.
Pittman was doing a lot of good work for me all year. It sucked not having him in some of the playoff games that led to the championship, but I was lucky enough to make it. But yeah, him coming back will be really, really big too. So guys are kind of the ones, or those three guys are kind of the ones I'm looking at.
I like I told you, I'm kind of excited about if anybody, I'm excited about Zay Flowers jumping back in. I was a bit concerned about his injury status, but I think it was because of the fact that with how he played last week, in which I should have put him in personally, but I didn't. Knowing that the 49ers can be a wide receiver funnel, for some players. So that being said, it's kind of also why I'm like, if you can find any, I know it sounds weird, but like if you can find any wide receivers,
Now we're having technical difficulties, my brother.
I mean it's what happens when you're live.
Fantasy gods don't want us giving this information out.
They kind of don't. I mean, I mean, you can hear me now, right? We
I
got
can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Cool. So and the lights shining on me. So yeah, so like if you have any wide receivers in the waiver wire from Washington, if you feel that you may need like an extra umph that may be a little bit better than any of your flex players, I've seen people drop Terry McLaurin. I've seen people drop Curtis Samuel. I've seen people drop Jahan Dotson, and it's kind of weird that people are dropping them. But if you have that availability in your waiver wire, by all means, go ahead and pick them up. It's the championship season. Why not go for broke? Even if it's a Washington Commander as part of your team. So that being said, let's go ahead and break down each and every one of these games. First of all, how excited were you about? Like, we talked about it before. We talked about it last night, but I want you to let the people know, your thought when Dallas won yesterday.
Well, I'm not sure if the people can hear me. Okay, here we go. Man, I was happy, but like I said, that game was, my anxiety was, I probably lost like 10 years of my life watching that game. But yeah, it was dramatic, but it was fun. It was fun. I can't say I'm happy with the way we performed in all facets of the game. I thought Dak looked good. I thought CD looked good, but running game is terrible. We have to figure that out before we can get any momentum going or wanting to do anything in the playoffs, because I don't think that's going to work against the upper echelon type of teams, just constantly throwing the ball all the time. But I'm happy. A win is a win. And to the Detroit Lion fans who might be a little salty about it, hey, man, it is what it is. I'm not a referee. I don't throw flags. I don't pick them up. I just watch the game. So I'm not apologizing for shit. We won the game. On to the next.
Manny's excited that not only Dallas won, but also Detroit lost. So that's a big W for him, even though he has to argue with everybody over in his part of town. But all right, let's go ahead and go with the games. We're just picking winners or losers. No point spreads, none of that right now. So let's go ahead and get started. A returning CJ Stroud, Texans versus Titans.
I like Houston. Give me the Texans.
I don't think there's no argument about that. Like I said, us here at Next Up, we just don't like the Titans. All right, moving on. And that's not the reason why. We just don't despise them. Speaking of teams that we don't like, Atlanta Falcons versus Chicago Bears.
You know what? I'm gonna pick Atlanta. I don't like them, but I'm gonna pick Atlanta. I think they're a little more consistent than Chicago. It's in Chicago though, right? Or is it in Atlanta?
It's in Chicago. I just had to introduce it as it's the Falcons that are playing. So
okay, so it really could go either way, it being in Chicago. But I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
I want to go with, I'm gonna go Chicago.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at it. It's gonna be. The problem is. I think it's their pass defense that's actually a little bit better than the pass defense of the Falcons is actually better than their rushing defense. So I'm kind of thinking that if there's any chance like that Justin Fields is going to go off for his 50 or 80 yard game, it's going to be this week, and maybe even a little Khalil Herbert on the side as well. I don't know. We'll figure that out with that three-headed monster back there. Interesting game. Baltimore. And the first team is always home. Baltimore, Miami.
Baltimore, Miami. You know what? They both had emotional wins last week. They both took down Dallas, one took down San Francisco. So I could see a letdown coming from someone in this game. So let me go with, you know what, man? I'm going to actually be different. I'm going to take Miami in this game, which might surprise a lot of people. But someone's telling me Miami. So I'm going to go with Miami to beat Baltimore.
I'm actually kind of feeling Miami too this week. Like, I think it's going to be a shootout overall. Miami's defense is good, but I don't think it's good enough to. I don't think it's good enough to be able to fully stop their run. So if that makes sense. So but I still believe that Miami can figure out a way to actually beat the Dolphins. The Ravens, they're at home though. Baltimore's at home.
I know.
If it was neutral, I would probably go Miami. But you know what? No, I'm sticking with Miami. I'm gonna figure it out with Miami. But by all means, if anybody's just Zay Flowers, actually, and Lamar Jackson, still go nuts. Make it like a 80-point total. Just get up there somehow, and just figure out a way. Just give me some points. My Lamar team and my Lamar and Zay Flowers stack needs it. Buccaneers Saints.
Buccaneers Saints. I'm gonna take Tampa Bay winning a close game over New Orleans.
Tampa Bay needs it. They really do. And one of my bets that I'll be talking about actually includes the Buccaneers. So that being said, I'm actually going to also go with Tampa Bay. They want to try to win. They want to keep on trying to win this division, and Baker Mayfield is just surprisingly not even consistent. He shows up when he needs to. So shout out to Baker Mayfield. Bills Patriots.
Oh, Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo beats them. I don't think it's going to be a close game, but you never know. But yeah, I'm definitely taking Buffalo in that game.
I mean, if there's any game that Belichick can win, it's going to be against Buffalo. But but Buffalo's more hungry, so we're going to go with the Bills this week. There's no chance, especially with it being in Buffalo. So weather doesn't matter, but still. Philly Battle of the Birds, Philadelphia versus Arizona.
Philadelphia and Arizona. Hey man, you know what?
Don't do it.
I don't like the way Philly's been looking lately.
Don't do it.
Upset special, upset alert. I'm going with I'm going with the other birds, the red birds. I'm going with the Cardinals to shock the world, man, and beat Philly. I think they can do it. I saw Philly play last week as the Rams. Not the Rams, but the Giants. I don't know. Something doesn't look right, man. So upset alert, Arizona.
This is where you're going to do the upset alert. Okay. Well, I'll give you an upset later in a little bit, but Philly just needs to win. Like it goes back to who needs to win and things like that. Arizona's traveling from west to east, which can usually be which can usually take a toll on teams. But Philly's gonna get by, and I think it's gonna be their running game that's actually gonna do it. So Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, you got them. Rely on them. They'll be all right. Jaguars versus Panthers.
I like Jacksonville. Even though Carolina has been playing better lately, Bryce Young looks like he's kind of starting to maybe figure things out a little bit. I'll be interested to see his development next year. I see something coming. But right now, I like Jacksonville. I think they're a little too strong, and they're trying to position themselves. I mean, they're in the playoffs, but they're trying to position themselves for a playoff run. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
I'll go Jacksonville too, but I'm actually going to ask you, what do you think about how do you think Bryce Young's progression is going to look like in year 2?
I think year 2 for Bryce Young will be a lot better than this first year. What they need to do is protect the man and get him some more weapons. Now that's going to have the GM and the upper management, they're going to have a big impact on his development. But Bryce Young, he's a smart kid, and it seems like he's starting to kind of figure things out. So I do think the arrow's pointing up. I think his trajectory is pointing up, and I think he'll be an improved player. Next year. I really do. I like Bryce Young.
Actually, one more quick question. Before the Bears traded DJ Moore, where was Carolina at for in the draft last year? You remember?
I don't remember the exact number. I want to say it was top 10 because I know they weren't good last year, but
because Carolina already had the first. Did they already have the first pick?
I couldn't tell you, bro.
I'm sorry, because I'm trying to think. Like, I'm only thinking because, like, so if they didn't trade it, then there was a possibility that they could have had Bryce Young this year, And if it's based on what you and Manny are saying, they also could have Marvin Harrison next year.
Yeah, I think that was a possibility. I
Yeah.
really do.
So I mean, DJ Moore. I hope he's worth it. I mean, I like DJ Moore, but still, Colts and Raiders. Both
Another
teams
team.
vying. Yeah, both teams vying for a playoff position.
This game I think can be sneaky good. This is another game where, like I said, I'm kind of making my pick based on how the team is playing right now, and I really like. I never thought I would say this, but I really like the way the Vegas is playing right now. I really, really do. They're getting after people. Max Crosby looks unblockable, and I mean on offense, who they plug in at running back seems like they're able to be effective. Zamir White, he looks even better than Jacobs, right?
Right.
So I think we keep the ball rolling, man, and I like Vegas today to beat Indianapolis.
Like, it's actually kind of interesting to even think that the Raiders, after everything that they've gone through, is in a position to even try to get into the playoffs. I mean, them beating Kansas City last week, miracle. Okay, maybe not miracle, but like it was. They beat them on two consecutive plays, an interception, return for a touchdown, and then like literally one play later, that pick six. Like that was a really good look that for that second pick six. That was just insane how he looked back at Mahomes. But anyway, I kind of talked about it earlier this year how much I liked Zamir White. It's just kind of sad that it took an injury for us to actually see how good he can be. That being said, it's also interesting to see the younger talent of the Raiders playing with not only Zamir White, but also the quarterback Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. So it's kind of interesting to see them, and yet they're still winning. But I'm still kind of skeptical about the Raiders because of the fact that outside of that, they didn't really do much in that game. Like Zamir White ended up still getting 145 yards, but like 90% of that was, or 80% of that came from like the last drive or something, the last two drives. So I'm actually gonna swing towards Indianapolis for this one. But just like I said, it's gonna be a fun one. And someone asked, what about the Raiders' defensive touchdown prop again? I don't think it's going to happen again. I love their defense, but I don't think it's going to happen again.
Yeah, that's tough. What would this be? 3 weeks in a row, right? So
yeah, it would be 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And many talking miss. I'm looking right into the sun. That's because I'm shining. All right, moving on. Next, New York Giants against the Rams.
LA, they're playing great right now. This team looks a lot different than the team we saw earlier in the year. I think LA might even get the playoffs and can maybe put up a scare to somebody in the first round. So yeah, give me the Rams. Rams beat the Giants. Giants is trying to get to next year. It's over for them.
This is going to be my upset. I'm saying Giants over the Rams.
Okay. Why, Will?
The offense. Why, Will? I'll tell you, Mike. I feel. Well, first off, legitimately, I'm hoping that Saquon Barkley actually does this thing so I can actually win the championship with him. I'm literally saying, please do good so that me picking him in a late first round, actually was worth it. That being said, not only that, like I still am highly skeptical about the Rams defense. The Rams defense is okay, but it's not. It's
kind of trash.
Yeah, they had a good run for like 2-3 games, but I'm not sure why I feel that it's going to be the Giants that's going to be the ones that'll stop them. But I still feel that I think it's a home thing, a home game thing. Like I'm always adamant when it comes to home games. So like if there's anybody, if a team can actually do it, like for some reason, I think it's is DeVito still starting? As Mike is frozen. Mike is frozen, bro. Yeah, so I'm gonna assume that DeVito is starting again. I think he is. But that being said, like I still feel that it's gonna be Giants just find a way. That's pretty much all I'm gonna say. Until I can get Mike back, I'm just gonna go there. You good?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just I don't know.
Hey, good morning. So okay, so DeVito's not starting. Is it in that case? Is it Tyrod? Yeah, someone. Yeah, just got put it on the chat that it's actually not DeVito this week. So it has to be Tyrod then, right?
Yeah,
So
Tyrod's starting it in.
if Tyrod's starting, there's even a better chance for that to actually happen. Nothing wrong with DeVito, but like I'm a Ty God Taylor fan, so shout out to him. Um,
And I've always liked Tyrod, and I agree with you. If Tyrod's playing, greater chance for the upset.
it's kind of a shame, like his injury is what caused Justin Herbert to be Justin Herbert. Like
Right.
that's like one of the saddest things. Now, Mike, you better pick this right. Commanders, 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers will definitely win that game. I'm not picking Washington to win anything ever in life. So yeah, Commanders will lose, and I'm gonna enjoy watching the Commanders lose, like I always do. So
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's I mean, no question. It's gonna be 49ers. I mean, I don't even see how that happens. I don't see
and
how
the
it win.
and the Niners are upset after last week, right? Like they're gonna want to come out and prove people. I mean, or they're gonna want to come out and take out that frustration on somebody. And unfortunately, it's just gonna be Washington today. So, and I'm sure Chase Young will have a lot of fun being back in Washington,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
so. Yeah, so a lot of storylines going on, but yeah, I think the 49ers destroy Washington. But Washington, every once in a while they'll hang around in a game. So they might try to make it closer than we would think, but they'll lose.
They're gonna be fine. Like I said, they're gonna be fine fantasy wise. Like I feel that they're gonna be passing. I think I'll do a personal over under. Sam Howell pass attempts. I'm gonna say about 45. I'll put it to 45 because I don't think the run game is gonna be used that much. So sorry to Antonio Gibson, guys. Um, Fun one: Seattle Seahawks and the Steelers.
This is a fun game. You know what, man? I'm kind of leaning Pittsburgh. I'm leaning Pittsburgh. I like the way Pittsburgh's defense has been looking. TJ Watt is getting after everybody, and they're just kind of a gritty team. I could see them kind of a. I think it'll be a close game. I can see it being kind of low scoring. Well, by today's standards, let's say it'll be in the low 20s or maybe the high teens. But yeah, I'm gonna rock with Pittsburgh today.
I'm gonna go Seattle. I agree with you with the defense for Pittsburgh, but I'm just trying to figure out a way. I'm just trying to think like I think Pittsburgh's stronger suit is the rushing defense instead of the passing defense. So like I kind of feel that Jackson Smith and Jigba is actually going to be useful today. It's going to be useful this week. So another person to possibly pick up if you don't have a decent flex. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna have one last ride of having some faith in Geno Smith this year. So why not go out in a blaze and go against the Panthers or excuse me Steelers? Um,
I'm starting Geno in a league, so I should have picked Seattle. See, this is proof to you guys that I don't just talk from the heart. I tell you how I really feel it's going to
he,
be.
he, he
I hope
tells me
I'm
how
wrong.
he feels.
Yeah, I hope Geno goes off. But something's telling me Pittsburgh.
Well, man, just letting you know. There it is. All right, this was a sports card inquiry because of the fact that okay, so Mike, you don't know, you somewhat don't know the story. So when so back in 2020 when the sports card boom, like 2020 2021 when the sports card boom like just skyrocketed, we were looking or people were looking for the next quarterback that was going to be like the it guy, like the big guy, and a lot of people went based on the Tom Brady backup at the time, which was Jared Stidham,
Hmm.
and that is my alarm. So that and that pick was Jared Stidham, and after he did leave and after he did have a few starts, Stidham didn't really do that well, and then from there he went to the Raiders. He didn't do that well, but at this very second, right now, Jared Stidham is your starting quarterback for this next game for the Denver Broncos. So he has another chance. So that being said, um, Broncos or Chargers.
You know what, man? and this is crazy because I never pick games based on how I feel about coaches and stuff, but I'm about to do that right now.
Please do.
Um, I'm letting it be known. I don't really like the way that situation has been handled in Denver. I
Mhm.
just don't. I feel like Sean Payton, for whatever reason, has kind of like used Russell Wilson as his like targeting board. Like he's kind of blaming him for the issues that have been happening. Now, I'm not a Denver fan. I don't watch all the Denver games. Maybe Russell is messing up, but from what I see, he's been pretty productive this year. In the situation that he's in.
Right.
Um, and I feel like Russell Wilson, an older quarterback, somebody who has put time in the league, he shouldn't be relegated to bench work when he's obviously the better quarterback out of the two. So I don't
Right.
even understand what this whole Jared Stidham thing is. So just because I want Sean Payton to look like an idiot, I'm picking the Chargers today to win. And I hope that they do. Now, will they? I have no idea. They've looked like trash recently. I think Allen is still out. I don't like this. I mean, is Herbert even playing today? Herbert's not playing, right?
Herbert's done for the year. Yeah.
Yeah, Herbert's done for the year. Yeah, he's not playing. So you got the stick kid back there. So take this with a grain of salt. I'm just telling you what I hope happens, and I hope that the Chargers beat the Broncos. So that's me.
I was about to say that's an interesting move. No Herbert, no Allen,
Mm-hmm.
a very below average Easton Stick. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
playing
No
against
coach, right? No
that.
coach. No head coach, really, because they fired that guy, right? So,
They did fire him, and he deserved it. I mean, but
oh yeah,
like
most definitely.
pretty much a startup team. Like it's like the B league of the Chargers, and that's what you're going with. I have to go with the home team in this case. Like I still like the weapons around Jarrett Stidham should be able to make him look good. So that's your Javonte Williams, that's your Samaje P. Ryans, that's your Jerry Judy's, Cortland Sutton. Unfortunately, he's not playing, and that goes with Marvin Mims as well. But again, I still feel it's going to be the Denver's defense that'll figure it all out for them. This one is who you're looking forward to. Kansas City versus Jake Browning.
Going with Jake Browning. Going with the kid Jake. Going with Cincinnati. Kansas City. I just feel like we have them on this high pedestal because we're used to Kansas City being that team, but they're not that team this year. I don't even know if any of their guys can catch the ball. I mean, maybe outside of Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, like none of these other dudes could even catch. MVS is trash. Tony's trash. And Mahomes looked like he's about to fire on somebody. I've never seen Mahomes this upset. Like I want to run out there and give the dude a hug. Like he's upset. You know what I'm saying? I'm not used to seeing Patrick Mahomes firing off on cats and all this other stuff. So I'm saying that Kansas City, they're not done as far as like never being relevant again, but for this
Right.
season and the aspirations they had, they're done. They're not the same team. So yeah, I'm not taking Kansas City today.
Whoa. Okay.
I said
And it
it's
does
our
help
last
that
show of the year. I'm coming with strong takes today, Will. I'm hurting feelings today.
shoot them shots. So it kind of makes I get what you're saying. Kansas City has never really been the greatest of defenses, and that it's been like that for years. Even with their championships, they've never been a great defensive team. But that being said,
Should have kept Eric Bieniemy. It's falling apart.
pretty much. You know what? I'm actually going to agree with you. I'm going to go with Bengals. I just don't know how. I just don't know how they're going to do it. They're going to do it. I just don't have an idea as far as how. Like Joe Mixon isn't really Joe Mixon anymore. Like actually no, he is because Joe Mixon has never been really like your 100% relied on back. He was always your 50-50 guy. So so it's not going to be the running game. So we just gotta keep the hopes up with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, which I believe is actually going to be playing today. Tyler Boyd, which is kind of weird to actually rely on him still. Like I'm actually more shocked that he's still playing, honestly. He needs to go. He needs to go elsewhere. Both him and T. Higgins are going to be number ones elsewhere. And the final game, which is going to be the Sunday night game, We got the Packers. Excuse me. We got the Vikings versus the Packers.
I like this game. This game is one of those rivalry games, can go either way. I know a lot of people are intrigued by the kid Jaron Hall. I think you like him, Will.
Yes, I do.
I like Jordan Love. I'm a Jordan Love fan. I've been kind of saying that all year. So yeah, this game could go either way. I think it'll be a classic game. But you know what? I'm actually gonna pick the Vikings. I think the Vikings will upset. Well, I don't know if it'd really be an upset, but I think the Vikings will maybe surprise some people, and I think the Hall is going to play well. I like the way he was playing in the first game that he started. Unfortunately, he got a concussion, so he wasn't able to finish that game. But
Right.
Hall looked kind of good. He's kind of like what I think Trey Lance would look like if he wouldn't get hurt too. So I like that type of play from the quarterback position.
Mhm.
Like I said, if they could just stay healthy. So yeah, give me Minnesota. Give me the Vikings over the Packers.
I mean, this is gonna be a decent game because of the fact that like they're both trying to get back to get in the NFC playoff contention, and I think I think there's no better game than this one to actually finish it off. As weird as it sounds, it would have been better, of course, if Kirk Cousins was actually in, if Josh Dobbs was still in. Um, just going to, like I said, Jaron Hall. We were not expecting Jaron Hall to even come in to play this year at all. And just like we stated on the show yesterday, and just like he did right now, Jaron Hall actually did look okay. He did look good. He does look like um, another two type quarterback, which can do both running and passing pretty decently. So it's like an Anthony Richardson light to the point where like we didn't like where like Jordan or a regular light is like still okay, but like a light is like still kind of in the minor leagues, but probably shouldn't have started this year for that. But that being said, I'm gonna go Vikings too. It's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be one of those field goal winning games. And it's probably going to be like Vikings by like 2. So if you guys like literally see this, and then from there in about 12 hours or so, you see Joseph kicking a field goal and they win by 2, then your boy called it. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what I'm going to go with for that, and that's pretty much it for our week 17 games. And finally, the last one for the season. It's kind of weird to think that the fantasy season is like finished right now. But anyway, so the next up parlay, once again, this is pretty much three or four picks that I personally choose as far as what I feel could actually win and what I feel may not be able to win. So that being said, I'll go ahead and get started. So the prop that I like more than any is one that's been hitting like for the past couple of weeks, and on top of all that, if I feel that they are going to win, they have to go through him first. So it's going to say at any time touchdown for Mike Evans. Mike Evans has been beastly for the past couple of games, and Mike Evans was pretty much meant to play football to catch touchdowns, and that's all he's been doing for the past couple of games. Have the faith in Baker Mayfield. Even though they're playing against the Saints, but like there's still some kind of faith in Mike Evans with him scoring that anytime touchdown. My favorite is actually going to be Seattle at -3.5. If you can get them at 2.5, I know you'll win less money by buying that point. Then go ahead. But Seattle at 3.5. Like I said, I feel that this is going to be a passing showdown, and Seattle kind of needs this to the point where it might not even be for the playoffs anymore. This is more so about pride for Seattle. I mean, they still are in playoff contention, but if I feel that they're gonna find a way to jump in, this is going to be how they're going to do it with this game. So -3.5 for Seattle. Like I said, try to get it at 2.5. And the final one is Bengals at +7. And that number has probably gone down just a little bit. But the general thought that I had was again, like what Mike already talked about, there's not really the best of the Chiefs aren't really the Chiefs anymore. It's a case of everybody finally figuring out how they can actually beat Kansas City, which is why they lost 6 games as of right now, which is atrocious for Kansas City. But Bengals pretty much find a way. Like there is holes in that Kansas City defense, and I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout as what people would think that it's going to be. And it's not because of the Raiders from last week. So if you have an opportunity, if you see 7.5, if you have to buy the half point, then by all means go for it. But Bengals at +7 is going to be my pick. And that's all I got, Mike. Yeah, any last words for anyone watching right now?
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
Definitely not what I meant to say. It's early, man. But yeah, I think that was a good. You pretty much wrapped it up. You know me, I'm not really the betting guy. So whatever Will says, believe me, this guy hits the parlays. Believe him. And like he said earlier, if he loses, I mean, if you lose, he loses because these are the bets that he actually puts up. So I think that's dope. But nah, man, I just really enjoyed this season. I really enjoyed the different things that we've implemented in our shows and kind of trying to have a broader reach to the fan base. So just want to reiterate that I have fun doing this and give my man Will a shout out for allowing me to be in this space. And yeah, man, that's about it. I don't want to get too sentimental because we still have some games to go today, and I'm hoping that I win my championship. The guy I'm playing against is really formidable, so I'm hoping things lean my way. I had a really nice start last night with CeeDee Lamb, so we're gonna hope that we keep the ball rolling. But yeah, hopefully you guys find this information helpful, and good luck to anyone who's in fantasy championships.
And that's the same thing here. Appreciate doing this all year. It just sucks that it took this long for us to finally do it on Instagram. But here we are. But shout out to each and every one of you that's been riding with us throughout the whole year, throughout the whole season, on the YouTube show, on the podcast. With all the memes, everything that we've done throughout this year, and next year we're going to be looking to be a little bit to add a little bit more on the consistency side, on a weekly basis as far as what we post and what we do, and that's going to be a wrap. But just because it's a wrap here on the videos doesn't mean that we're not going to be just out of it for the next 8 months. So Mike is looking into writing about the draft. We're going to be talking. I'm always going to be posting memes on our pages, and I don't know. We're just going to see what else that we can actually pick up as far as what we could do for next year. So, once again, thank you guys, ladies and gentlemen. So this is your boy Will, my man Mike T. So that being said, you guys have a good luck. Good luck with everything. Good luck with the championships. And until then, see you guys next year. Let's ride.
Peace, guys. Play like a champion today. Good luck and win your games.
Let's go.